Good morning, everyone. I am starting a little bit early because I am too freaking stoked to be here. It has been, what, 4 weeks since I seen you guys last, and that just makes my heart so sad. I'm not gonna lie, I woke up every single Thursday in December being like, where are my friends? Like, it's just so weird not being here every Thursday. And I hope you guys felt the same, but like also not because I don't want you to be sad. But I'm glad we're back. I'm super, super stoked to be here with you guys today. Thank you all so much for showing up too. I know, I don't know about you guys, but it's cold as you know what outside. It is 8 degrees, a crisp 8 degrees in Lansing right now. It looks like Charleston, South Carolina is 35 degrees. Someone, Tina just said, oh no, you're still in the hotel. Girl, yes. Look at this. Look at my life. But I did not let that stop me. It's kind of a weird situation. If you guys don't mind, a very, very small personal story, because you guys have been really a part of my journey every single week since what was it, September 24th is when I got kicked out of my house and had to move into this hotel. So very, very short, super long story for you guys. No work has been done on my house actually since November 16th. So we actually ended up spending the holidays here, Thanksgiving and stuff. But the good news is because no work has been done on my house, we still kind of got to hang out at the house. So I bought a new couch. I've been working there a little bit through the month of December on my laptop and stuff. But when it comes to stuff like this, where I need, my big screens, I need my mic set up, all that kind of stuff, I got to go to the hotel still. So we're kind of living half and half. And today, actually, right after this call, I finally get to meet with my rehab guy. That sounds bad. My house rehab guy. I promise I'm not as crazy as I look half the time when we're on these together. But my house rehab guy is coming by today, and we officially get to kick off the project to put my house back together starting next week. So thank you guys for your concern and your support through all of this. Thank you for your understanding. I actually had a funny, I took it as funny. I don't think it was supposed to be funny. I think it was supposed to be mean, but I'm delusional half the time. But someone was like, I found it very annoying that you were you couldn't clean up your room. You were in your hotel the entire time. Could you not afford an office? Like, that was like a YouTube comment on one of our live streams from December. And I just laughed out loud, literally, because it's like, we're making the most of what we have here, guys. And I know you guys are doing all the same as well. So first and foremost, I want to thank you again for so much for being here. Thank you for continuing to support me and continuing to support EverBee every single week. We are back in action fully, 100%. I will see you guys, hopefully. At least I'll be here. I might be talking to myself, looking at myself in this camera for an hour, but we will be here every single Thursday for you guys for the indefinite future, because it seems like you guys are getting some value out of it. So I will happily show up every single day for you. Okay. With that said, got a couple of things we're going to go over today. It's a little bit different than usual, simply because we're kind of getting back in the action. When you get back to your job, back when I was in the corporate space, the first week that you get back is kind of just like looking over, emails from December that you might have missed, or maybe like planning out the year and getting invited to meetings that could have been emails. That's kind of where I'm at right now personally with you guys as well. And I want to be a little bit more understanding of, it's kind of like the beginning of the year. We're still trying to get back in action. So today's going to be a little bit different, where it is going to be a little bit tutorial based, like you guys like, but it's also going to be just really answering your questions. So anything that I got in our Facebook group, I am going to be answering today live for you guys. We are also going to talk really quickly about this. I don't know, I think it's kind of, maybe you guys will think it's weird, but I think it's going to be super helpful for the new year. We're going to talk about Pantone colors and where I see color trends happening on Etsy, and also just everywhere. If you sell on TikTok, if you sell on Shopify, etc., I'm thinking that might be something beneficial for you guys. So we're going to go over that a little bit. And then at the very end, I actually have a couple resources that I want to show you guys that I'm personally using in my own business, related to and not related to Etsy, just so that I can stay on track. And by the way, guys, this is the exact same process, strategy, resources, etc., that I've personally used every year since 2021 for my business. And I have never not only not hit, but also exceeded all of my goals every single year. And 2024 was no different. I ended up doing 50K more than I originally planned because of the strategy that I'm going to go over at the very end. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit different, but I hope this is helpful. Of course, give me your feedback in the comments if this is something that you got value out of when we get out of here. But before I get started, of course, always got to do a little shameless plug. If you've never been here before, please go ahead and boop that like button on this video. It helps get our lives out to a larger group so I can help as many Etsy, e-commerce, Shopify, digital product sellers across the world. And if you also are enjoying the conversation that we're having today, if you want to go ahead and subscribe, I go live every single Thursday for you guys and post a video every Tuesday as well. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the stuff today. Let's see. All right. So first of all, like we said a second ago, I hope everyone had a fantastic holiday season. I want to know a little bit if you guys are interested. I just gave a little win without going too deep into it. I gave a little win for my own business a second ago. So I would love to hear from you guys, and I would love to celebrate the crap out of you guys. Did December go the way that you'd planned, whether it be financially, monetarily? Did you get the number of sales that you wanted? Did you get the number of leads that you wanted? The number of email subs that you wanted? Whatever goals you set for yourself in December, I would love to know. Did you reach them? Did you spend more time with your family? And that was a goal, because that was a goal of mine. It had nothing to do with money. It actually had to do with the absence of money, like truly just putting myself first and my family first throughout the month of December. So I would love to hear from you guys. Even if you didn't hit the monetary or sales goals, what did go super well for yourself or your business in December? I'm not going to go through all of them per se right now on here, but if you want to pop them in the comments for me, especially if you're watching this on replay as well, I really want to personally celebrate each and every one of you. Okay. With that said, I also want to quickly let you guys know it is in tandem with what we are talking about today. I posted a video on Tuesday, 2 days ago. It looks just like this. So you'll see it says rookie mistakes. It's like Amazon, Etsy, Shopify kind of logos. And it was basically 10 things that you should be doing in order to hit those goals and be able to be a successful e-com seller in 2025. So I wanted to remind you guys that did go live on Tuesday, simply because that is going to be kind of in tandem, paired with the other stuff we're going to talk about today. Okay. So after this video, you know what to do. Head over there. It is the very first one when you go to our video section. You shouldn't be able to miss it. All right. Next up, like I said, we are going to get into a live Q&A from our Facebook group. If you are new to these live streams with us, and this is your first one, you might also be new to the Facebook group. You might not know what that is. So I wanted to go ahead and put a little screenshot in here because, yes, we do go live every Thursday on YouTube. I post videos, I post shorts, stuff like that. But we also have a very thriving and, pretty substantially sized Facebook group as well. And I am the one that is in there all the time answering your questions, letting you guys know when these lives are happening, letting you guys know when a new video goes live, stuff like that. But we also have over 30,000 other members that are actively in there supporting each other. So if you'd like to be a part of it and you're not already yet, to start the new year off on the right foot, all you got to do is go to Facebook, go to the search bar and type in EverBee members Etsy seller growth. Okay. So I wanted to take a quick little screenshot for you guys so that you can see where you can find this. Go ahead and ask to join it and I will accept you as a member. Okay. Just wanted to let you know that is something that I am pulling from today, but something you can also joining in. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. I think there were about 8 to 10 questions. I hopefully won't spend too much time on each individual question because I want to get to the other pieces of why I wanted to have this call today. But I do want to make sure that all of these get addressed. Okay. So the first thing is one of our girls that she's here often. I think she actually might be here right now. But she asked the question that she decided to open a new shop. One is a general shop, handmade and POD, and the other is more for a specific POD shop. And again, if you're new, I say a lot of acronyms. So POD is print on demand. Okay. So she was asking, and I'm going to be so real. What is that thing that they have on TikTok? BFFR. I'm going to be real right now. I do not know 100% the answer to this question. And I do not want to, if you guys know me, if you guys have been here before, you know I am probably too transparent, too authentically myself. And I am a very, very loyal and honest to a fault person. I will never steer you guys in the wrong direction. And I will never say that the stuff that you learn in these should be Bible. I tell you guys that all the time. I need you to go out and do the due diligence and learn and apply it to your own brand. However, when I say that, her main question was she just started a new shop. And she kind of wants to cross promote the two. And how she wants to do that is, let's just say in the description, the shop announcement, and maybe her listing photos, whatever it is, she's wondering, can I, to help generate more traffic, link my new Etsy shop within my current Etsy shop and vice versa? I went on a rabbit hunt, a rabbit hole hunt this year, or the past couple of days, to find the exact answer to this. And to be honest, I can't find one. And I do not want to give you guys any like yay or nay with 100% certainty if I don't have 100% certainty. So I am going to say potentially, but I would highly recommend doing your own research further on it. But I will say there are ways that we can get around this. So let's say the answer is absolutely no. And by the way, if any of you guys know the answer to this, 100% certain, I always say if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room, right? So if you know the answer to this, please pop it in the comments. That is what these group calls are for, so that we can all support each other. We can all learn from each other, okay? So if you know the answer of if you are allowed to promote additional Etsy shops within current Etsy shops, please let me know. The reason why I am a little hesitant on this, just a tiny bit. And it also is on the other side why I should not be hesitant. But that's why I'm a little confused, to be quite frank with you. Etsy does not approve whatsoever. It's against 100% against their TOS for us to send people away from Etsy. So, for example, you're not allowed to put like your Shopify store link or your Stand store link or something else that would allow a transaction to be taken off of Etsy. But then on the other hand, I'm like, she's trying to drive traffic to Etsy. So that's where I'm confused, and I 100% do not know the right answer. So I don't want to pretend like I do. However, what I will say is something that we absolutely can do is think about how to build traffic to both of these stores from external locations. So it might not be internal, organic, Etsy-based traffic, but maybe we can actually pop this like in the about section. You can put your information about it. You can put your social media in there, you know? So I don't see why you couldn't also have your other Etsy store in there. The other thing is if you have email marketing, if you have social media marketing, all the different places where you should be externally driving traffic to these sources absolutely could be two separate. It could be one email account, two separate segmented lists, two separate QR codes for your opt-in form, etc., and then two separate social media accounts, unless they are somewhat connected, where the audience for one store and the audience for another store would buy things from both stores. Then you can have one social media account for the whole thing. But I think that might be the way around this. If we can't get to the full bottom answer of 100% transparently yes or no, the answer could be, let's do our due diligence on external traffic to promote both sites. Okay? Hope that makes sense. I want to make sure if anybody else put it in here. Okay, so someone did say I have a notice in my shop announcements telling folks about my second store. Thankfully, that person has not been suspended yet. So maybe it's all good. But again, unfortunately, I don't think any of us on this call right now can say with 100% certainty. If you guys are watching this on a replay and you do know the answer, please let us know in the comments so that we can get to the full bottom of this. But I do think that there are some ways around it. Okay, hope that makes sense. And I hope that somewhat answers your question. All right, this one made me laugh out loud, literally. Explain to me like I'm 5 how to find high competition niches / micro niches. I just started in October and I'm doing a lot of everything right now. Would like to start focusing on a couple things instead of what I'm doing now. So What I'm really going to say here is I have made multiple tutorials about this. We've done multiple live streams where we've actually gone, like I've held your hand and we've walked through every single step of exactly what I would do. So I would recommend doing that first, but I will also go ahead and share my other screen really quickly. Hopefully. Let's see if it lets me. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. So what I like to do, and I'm going to, fifth grader, 5-year-old, whatever you said, like try to pretend like I'm a 5-year-old. I'm going to try to make this as easy and simplistic as possible. The first thing that I would recommend at any given time when you are trying to find niches, trending things, micro, sub, whatever, is don't even look on Etsy or EverBee yet. That is kind of like step 2, in my opinion. So the first step, the reason why I want to bring up Pantone colors today, by the way, the first step is noticing things and like retraining your brain to notice things while you are just walking around in the world. So a quick example. This is my water bottle right now, and it is from Simple Modern, and it is my new favorite thing. Okay. And these became huge in like 2023, 2024 because of this guy right here, allowing you to have a really, really large, water bottle. I think this is 40 to 48 ounces, and it fits in your cup holder, even though it's ginormous, right? So like this style was trending and everyone and their mother jumped on it because of that. Secondary thing, this color is trending / was trending. It's like a nude, there's taupe, eucalyptus, etc. So kind of blush, like kind of those like muted nice tones, which is so funny that I'm bringing those tones up just off the top of my head because I'm seeing a lot of them right here just logging into Etsy. So that is the first thing that I would say. If you are trying to find things that are trending, you got to find things that are trending. It does not have to do with research. It's just research out in the world. So Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, Michael's, Walmart, Target, wherever, whatever you guys have in your local kind of like vicinity of your home, look at those things. Take notice of them. That is actually how I found, I want to say it was last February or March or something. I had a video go viral on TikTok, on my own personal TikTok, because I was like, guys, I think I found something. And I just want to tell you guys about it because I think it might blow up. And it surely did. And the niche was coquette. And you guys have probably seen coquette freaking everywhere now. And I found it like I said, last February or March, and then it blew up after that. And it was simply because I had happened to look on Etsy and I had happened to be strolling through the streets of Target and I saw a bunch of the cherries and a bunch of the bows and the light pinks and the whites and the fuzzy stuff. And then I was like, I really think this is about to blow up, because if it's already in those places and it's already potentially on the Etsy upcoming trends website, you guys could literally just type that into Google and see what Etsy sees on the horizon every single quarter. It's more than likely going to do well on Etsy, potentially. Okay. So that's just the first thing, is before we even get to Etsy or EverBee, just open your eyes, look around and see if anything that you see is frequent enough, like you're seeing it in multiple places. And then you also are seeing it that it could be something that could relate to what you want to sell. Okay. So that's step 1. Open your eyes. Okay. Step 2 is kind of vet it in Etsy. And let's just say, one thing you could do here is like, I didn't even type anything in yet, right? I'm just literally put my cursor on the search bar and I'm seeing Etsy is telling me right now, top searches for this week. The cool thing is it's January 9th. So of course we are seeing self-care stuff, because that is, it's the new year. It's the new year, new me, resolutions, blah, blah, blah. We're also seeing Valentine's Day gifts. So people are actively looking right now to get those things knocked out based on the season that we're in. But we're also seeing stuff like personalized decor, baby gifts, etc. So you could start going down the rabbit hole here on what Etsy is actively telling us is already performing right now. Okay. The second thing that I personally like to do, and this is, again, you don't have to do this, it's just something I like to do, is I like to look right here. This changes often based on what the algorithm on Etsy is currently experiencing. So all of these things, I'm like 99.9% sure there is not a human that is swapping these out. And if it is because an algorithm is basically telling them this is what we should focus on right now because of the searches and the purchases that are taking place on the platform. Okay, so just keep that in mind. These things do change frequently, and that's something I like to look at as well. So what's cool is when I come here, I'm seeing housewarming gifts, Valentine's Day gifts, and personalized decor, right? And then when I come down here, I'm secondarily vetting that by hearing Valentine's Day gifts yet again, home favorites yet again. So in my brain, that's telling me, maybe I should like try to play with that a little bit. But these are obviously very broad things. So the question that our guy had on the list was, okay, awesome. How do I niche down a little bit? So what I personally like to do as step 3, let's go to this guy right here. You guys have more than likely seen me play with gift mode a billion times. I'm going to just do it again one last time to show you guys, like he said, pretend like I'm a 5-year-old. I like to click this button right here, and it takes us to Etsy's internal algorithmic kind of resource called gift mode. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can use this. The first way is strictly just to go through here, which are occasion based. So thank you, get well, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the things that are more seasonally based right now are going to be right there at the beginning. So you can click through any of these and click on it, and then it will basically, oh my God, I want that. That is hilarious. You can click through those and see, what things are Etsy attributing to that occasion. Okay, so that's one way to kind of see if you want to niche down to an occasion, if you want to niche down to a person. For example, let's just say get well, which is kind of interesting here. The get well occasion, if you will, this is already, because I've just done this, a million times, I can see that this could also be for someone who enjoys reading, someone in the book talk space, someone in the gardening space. Like I'm already seeing niches or micro niches that could come out of the get well occasion. Okay, so I hope that makes sense as to how we can kind of pair different things here and really see, like, Etsy's already telling us that occasions do well. And if you can find an occasion like wedding, birthday, anniversary, sympathy, new baby, etc., those happen literally every single day all year long. If you focus on things like Valentine's Day or Lunar New Year, that's awesome, but you're really only going to get sales during those periods for like 60 days before and after, potentially, depending on what you're selling. If you do any of these, you have the ability to potentially sell every day all year long. All right, so that's kind of step 1 in the gift mode. The other one is interest, of course. So the person that you want to potentially sell to, what kind of interest do they have? You can go through any of these. And of course, you can see that there is a limit on the number of keywords here. And in my brain, it's not 100% truth necessarily, but in my brain, this is telling me that Etsy is seeing these looked up most. So that is telling me that these are in demand by people. So if we can start going through those, that might offer some additional things. Also, it might just offer ideas too. Like maybe you didn't think about maximalistic decor. Maybe you didn't think about cooking and baking. But then you're like, oh, I think I could definitely design in that space. That could also really help there, okay? The next thing that we can do is, if we scroll down a little bit, you're also going to see... Here we go. All right, I was trying to find it. They move it often. I'm not going to lie. It's very annoying. So they have these people down here as well, which is kind of cool. So you'll see other people to shop for, and then you'll see these big ones that are like the whatever. So the video gamer, the science buff, the golfer. I'm going to go ahead and click browse all so I can show you where I'm at. So it's going to go ABC order, which is cool. So we've got, 90s kids starting out, beauty guru, boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. What I personally like to do in here is, first of all, scroll through and see if all of my opening my eyes in Target, Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, whatever, if I'm also seeing any of those, the people on Etsy. If I can, that's more than likely a space you should jump into immediately. So like right now, I don't know if you guys have heard of the new documentary called The Program. I just watched it the other day. It's a very interesting, I think it's UAP. I'm not gonna get the acronym right, but basically UFOs. It's about like our aliens here. Very, very interesting documentary, but that just went out, and it's going super viral right now, which means also this is going to go super viral right now. Okay. So, like, thinking about those kinds of things, if you're seeing them out there in the world and you're also seeing them here in Etsy under gift mode, it might be something to move forward with. That's number one. Number two, though, is I like to scroll through this and be like, is there anything that I believe is going to answer two questions for me? Number one, it is not as saturated as other things, which means a lot less people are going to be selling in that space. But it also satisfies number two. Even if it's a smaller micro niche, it is a loyal community of people. So if you think about, like we've talked about 1,000 times, like dog moms, bad example simply because that is very saturated, but dog moms are going to be very, very loyal, and they're going to buy and they're going to spend a lot of money on their babies. So when I look at this list, just this particular one that we have in front of us right now, I am seeing the Baker potentially, maybe, could be a little bit undersaturated. Nah, I don't think so. I think that's probably going to be a little bit too saturated, but it's also going to be a very loyal audience. So that's good. So that kind of potentially does one, maybe both. Basketball fan, baseball fan, those are going to beach bum. Those are going to be, in my opinion, potentially a little bit too heavy on saturation. However, breakfast lover, boho beauty, bluegrass lover, bird watcher, and board game champ. I'm doing this with you guys, by the way, while we're doing this together. So this is not something that I planned before I got here. I'm simply just looking at them and figuring out. I have those two questions to ask myself. You told me to make it as if you were 5 years old. When you're looking through this list, find the one that might be, and then we can research it, of course, but might be less saturated. And then find the one that, even if it is less demand, the demand that is there is heavy because these people are aggressively passionate about it. Bluegrass, bird watcher, breakfast lover, boho beauty, board game champ. That's 5, 6, 5. That's 5 places that I would immediately start just from this little snippet, this little screenshot that could satisfy potentially both of those questions. Then obviously do the research. Use EverBee or don't. That's fine too. I can't tell you what to do with your life, but it's going to make it easier and it's going to make it faster. But if you just want to just scroll through on Etsy as well, by all means. However, I would start researching these 5 and seeing if there's any gaps in the market, if there is a specific aesthetic that the bluegrass lover likes, whatever. And then I would start potentially designing in them once I vetted them fully down. Okay. So that was, I tried to make it, as 5-year-old-y as possible. I hope that helps provide some clarity that I am basically at any given time, I am putting about 4 to 5 steps in place every single time I want to determine a new niche, a new micro niche, sub niche, whatever. But it actually starts before I ever even sit down at my computer, and then I kind of vet it and then I expand. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. Please let me know back in the Facebook group if you're like, I didn't get any of that. You made it for a 5th grader, not a 5-year-old. That's totally fine. I will try to put it in a little bit more Reader's Digest version if I can. But let me know if that was helpful. Give me a thumbs up. If that was not helpful, please don't give me a thumbs down. That makes me sad. All right, moving on. I recently opened a general store on Etsy. Decided to solely focus on glass cups. That's interesting. I haven't actually seen that niche. That's cool. I had 2 orders so far and noticed that shipping takes a lot longer than I expected. And also mock-ups of the newest versions are hard to find. Okay, I have 11 listings so far. Thinking to switch to tote bags, but I don't know if I should keep the listings up. Okay, so there's a lot going on here, right? This is like 70 questions in one. I'm not gonna lie. What I will say though is I think you were going about it a little bit wrong by thinking of the product. I don't want you guys to think of the product. I want you to think of the person. Okay, so is the person who buys glass cups going to be satisfied with the price of the glass cup, the price of the shipping of the glass cup, the shipping time of the glass cup, the design you're putting on the glass cup, the way you set up your listing for the glass cup? Okay. If the answer is no to any of those 5 questions, and I could probably think of 100 more questions after that, but if the answer is no to any of those, it's not the product. It's technically it is the product because the person doesn't like the product, or the person doesn't like the design on the product, or the person doesn't like how long it's taking it to get to them. So I think thinking about like, I'm selling glass cups, but my glass cups aren't really selling. I'm thinking about going to tote bags next. I think we're just going in the wrong direction here by not thinking about the person instead. If you like glass cups, girly, sell the glass cups, but you have to sell the glass cups to the right person. The verbiage in the description has to be right. The thumbnail for each of the listings has to be right for that person. Okay. So I would actually go back to the drawing board and think about who your ideal buyer is, what they like, what they need, who else they buy from, blah, blah, blah. And then you can pop that on glass cups until the cows come home. You do not have to do another product. I wouldn't necessarily just pivot to another product because this product isn't selling. I would make sure that I know who I want to sell to first. And if the person, when we get down to that person, that avatar, is the person who would like a glass cup, but also likes a tote bag, hell yeah, do it. Absolutely. Put them together because you're only going to benefit that person in the end more. Okay. So that's the way that I would approach this personally. And then I also want to just really quickly highlight, I have 11 listings so far. That also is potentially a reason here because you are not getting yourself out there enough in order to see sales. And then because you're not putting yourself out there enough and you're not seeing sales, you are wanting to pivot because you feel that your strategy isn't working. That might not be the case. You might just need, first of all, to figure out who your customer avatar is and what they need from you. But second, you might just need more listings to appease that customer avatar, to appease the Etsy algorithm and be able to get yourself out there more. Okay. So those are my 2 recommendations for this particular questions. All right, I'm wanting to add some products to my shop that are fully customizable. Heck yeah, love that idea. I want to offer a box filled with supplies customized to a client's needs. Interesting. I have a questionnaire that would give me the information needed to tailor the box. I'm not sure how to pop it on listing, Etsy. So first of all, the question is, can I even list like something on like this on Etsy? The answer is absolutely. And I can prove that by coming back to Etsy real fast. Hopefully. Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure my screen shared with you guys. So going back here to the self-care gifts place that we were on earlier, if it lets me, here we go. The answer is 100% yes. Like I just literally clicked that one button and you're already seeing things that are customized and tailored to that person, being like the gift care boxes or the care gift boxes, whatever you call it. So yes, absolutely. They can be sold on Etsy, hands down. Will it be more challenging and time consuming to sell a fully customizable box on Etsy? Absolutely also. Simply because most of the care packages you're going to see are, let's say there are 10 items and you get to choose which colors of the 10 items. I'm just using this as an example, but something like that. So it's pretty simple for the girl to go into her little cabinet, grab blue, 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 blue of the 10 items, ship it out. If it's more customizable than that, where like each person gets like a list of products that they get to choose from, I just worry for you and your time investment that might get a little overwhelming. However, I will say also, something like this can do very, very, very well on social media. So if you are interested in selling on social rather than or in tandem with Etsy, that is probably going to be your best strategy to be able to land the most sales for this kind of product, okay? The customizable piece. If you can also adjust your idea a little bit where it's still customizable, it's still personalizable, but it's a little bit less so, just to protect your own sanity, I think it absolutely can be done on Etsy and done well, and what's the word? Perform well. But I would just recommend do what I kind of just did. Go to like self-care gift boxes, care packages, stuff like that. Type those kinds of things into Etsy. See the strategy that they're using, the products they're putting in, the way that they're allowing for personalization, and then see if you can feel comfortable in your soul emulating something like that rather than doing fully customizable just to protect yourself. Hope that makes sense and it helps. All right. I know that the dog breed niche is super saturated and hard to stand out in. I need help finding a way to stand out and make sales. This is a very big question because there are a billion different ways that we can go with this. The first way I would say, and I'm really just making this up on the spot, so bear with me while I figure this out. The first thing that I would say is let's niche down the dog breeds themselves. So yes, dogs, dog moms, etc., all of those kinds of things potentially are a little, not potentially, they are saturated. We all can agree on that. But there are specific dog breeds that might not be. So like, let's just say Labrador, Golden Doodle, maybe even Husky. I have a Husky. You guys might have seen her. She's usually in the back with me. So those kinds of things might be saturated, but maybe there might be things that are not. So for a quick example, I don't know if I'm going to regret doing this, but I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try. 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. Maybe. Let's see if it's sharing. Okay, so we're on ChatGPT right now together. This is my personal one, so ignore all the random crap I have over there. But I'm going to say I'm on Etsy, and I want to be in the dog breed niche, but I need to dive into less saturated dog breeds. Can you give me 10 options that I can research that have a large amount of people who have these dogs, but a smaller amount of other sellers tapped into this space? Okay. I call him Charles. I use Charles every single day. I say, when in doubt, Charles it out. So I'm going to do this one and let's see what he says. Whoa, I don't even know what that, a barkless dog. What is that? That's incredible. Okay, Malinois, I know those are huge. Portuguese water dog, Cane Corso, that's a really, really popular dog, and the people that have them spend hella money on them. Shiba Inu, Chow Chow, those are really awesome ideas. Australian Terrier compared to a Jack Russell Terrier, as you can see, has a devoted following looking for breed-specific gifts. Okay, so that is one option that I would do, is just try to get a little bit more of like what other breeds are out there that might not be fully saturated on Etsy, but still have a very loyal following. That's one example. The other thing that we can do in this space is think about what a dog needs or what a dog mom needs outside of your standard t-shirt that says dog mom, right? So another something that I actually did last year, and I made a decent profit from it actually, was combining dog pet bowls, like pet and water bowls, and that's very undersaturated on Etsy. There's a handful of them, so that's one way that you could do it. Thinking about like what the dog needs, so instead of a dog bandana, maybe we have a matching dog leash and a dog collar. So thinking about, thinking outside of the box of the breeds themselves, and then also thinking outside of the box of products that could serve that person. Another quick example, if we get in the digital product space, could be like I travel. You guys know I travel a lot. I've taken you guys on my travels with me sometimes, like Belize and stuff. And Dallas, Texas, a couple months ago. So knowing that I have to always have a dog sitter when I leave, it would be cool to have like a dog sitting like program, I don't know, like planner or something of the sort that basically gives me everything that I need, that I could give everything to that girl, my dog sitter. So like medications that my dog is on, when she goes in and out, when she eats, stuff like that. So that could be another option, is like think about what the dog mom or dad, the dog itself could need, and then are there any other dog breeds that might be a little bit less saturated? Okay, hope that helps. All right, I have 10 to 12 sales over the past few weeks, struggling to get reviews. I have a page thanking them, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right, so this one, I would recommend making sure, well, my first question kind of back to you would be, do you have social media? And if not, let's start there because I would highly recommend growing a social profile for your store. I would also highly recommend an email platform for your store as well, because you can request reviews through both of those places. Okay. Now you can't incentivize. That's illegal. You can't incentivize a review. It's against their terms of service on Etsy, but you can hit them in different places. You guys have to remember that sometimes, even in my case, I have 4 Etsy accounts, okay? And if someone messages me on my first Etsy account that I ever made back in 2017 when I was selling home decor back in the day, if someone messages me on that on Etsy, I'm not logged into it, nor do I have access to that email anymore. So they can ask me for a review 500 times and I'll never get it. So you have to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Instead of getting pissed at them that they're not reviewing, why don't we meet them where they are? Maybe they're not on the Etsy app. Maybe they only got on Etsy on their desktop one time to buy that one thing from you, and they haven't touched it since. So if we can have a little bit of compassion and empathy for our end buyer and our customers, our literal lifeblood of our business, and then try to find them in other places by getting their email or getting them to follow your social media or growing your social account so that you can actually find other people who will do it. That's probably the approach I would take here instead. And then, of course, reviews, keeping in mind, I think, don't quote me here, but I think that the percentage is 15 to 20% of your sales that you get might leave a review. So if you are getting a couple off of the 10 sales that you got, you're already beating the national average. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that yes, we can pop it in Etsy, but there are other places where we can pop it. And also we need to understand that they might not even be back on Etsy to even see your message in the first place. They're more than likely not ghosting you. They just might not be there. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna skip this one because this was basically her asking. I realized it was her asking support from the group, so my apologies. All right, so now that we're done with that, let's go through the other couple of things that I wanted to hit on today, being trends for the new year, but also what we can do to make our best business ever. Okay, so I promised that was kind of like the title of this live stream today, was I was going to do a live Q&A with you guys, which we did. But then I also said, how can we make 2025 our best year yet? I'm going to share a couple of things that I personally do in my own business that could be beneficial to you guys. And then we're also going to do Pantone as well. So let's just go ahead and do Pantone first. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to start with. So the Pantone color of the year, which is crazy because like I said, tan is in, nude is in right now. It's actually called, I think it's like chocolate mousse or something. Mocha mousse. There we go. So it's this color right here, mocha mousse. And they have this whole thing. By the way, if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say Pantone color of the year, this is something that happens every single year. A lot of people, if you're in the e-commerce space, are of course trying to look at this and figure out what are the projected color trends for the year, because there are brands across the world, including giant fashion brands, including billboard advertising companies, that are going to be taking the Pantone color of the year and the corresponding, colors that match with it and applying it to literally everything they do this year. So it's really helpful for us as well to figure out how we can potentially bring it in too. So we got this guy right here, 171230. Also, if you need the hex code, let's see if it's down here. I can get it for you pretty quickly. They don't provide it. So basically, just for your future reference, if you ever need a hex code, what I like to personally do is do a little screenshot. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't think so. But I like to do a little screenshot of the color itself. And you can do this everywhere. So if you go to Pinterest and you type in, trending colors or something, and then you just do a screenshot of it. You go into Canva, you copy and paste it. I'm actually literally doing, I'll show you. I'm doing it right now. I'll show you on my screen. One second. Oh, maybe. There we go. All right. So you guys can see I'm in the document that I made today. So I would just copy and paste this in here. And then I would come over to my little background color thingy or whatever color you want to do. Maybe. Then I'm going to come right here where it says add new color. And I'm going to click this thing called eyedropper, a color dropper. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to scroll over this. And then from there, we are going to have our hex code. Just kind of a little life hack that I use if I'm trying to exactly mimic and someone doesn't give me a hex code for some reason. So now you can save that if you'd like to your Canva account to be able to have access to it. Just one quick thing I wanted to show you guys. All right, so from there, we can scroll down a little bit also. And you, like I said, you can see like colors are coming in from the fashion industry, from maybe, I don't know what this is. It looks a little scandalous, but maybe the linen and bedding industry, okay? But we also want to come down here and figure out what the palette is for the year. Safari, cannoli cream, that's like basically what I have right here. This is like Kim Kardashian's closet, you know, and that's what's trending right now. And as long as we know that and we can own it and we can embrace it and we can pop it on our stuff, we might be able to set ourselves up for success. So a couple of these things, again, like I said, literally pantone.com/color of the year/25. Go here and you're going to find everything that I'm looking at. You're also going to see some different colors that are complementary to the original palette. So we've got some violet, some rose. I literally said rose earlier, didn't I? Or blush. I said blush, but it's the same concept. We got some rose here. We got our mocha mousse, which is, you know, the thing that we already talked about. Then we've got this, which is kind of like the eucalyptus color I was mentioning earlier. Like, I'm not making these things up, guys. This is, people are actively telling us that this is what is going to sell this year. Like, Motorola is partnering with Pantone to make a mocha mousse freaking cell phone. Okay, so I hope that helps. These are, oh, those are cute. There's like really fun things that you can learn in here and apply them to your own business. All right, hope that helps. Last little thing I wanted to show you guys, and then I promise I see your comments. I will get back over there really quickly as well. So I personally made this for myself. I'm not going to give it to you guys because it's mine, but I will show it to you and maybe be something that you guys can potentially do for your own business. So this is something that I actually do personally and for my business. So I do this in the mornings for my business, and then I close out my night with my personal one. So I built it twice because you guys know me, I'm crazy. I do everything like extreme. But I really, this year, one of my biggest business goals was actually to like focus more on myself and focus more on my people, like you guys, rather than the business. Like, I want to build the biggest freaking community. I always call it the biggest, baddest girl gang, but we've got a lot of guys in here too. So the biggest, baddest gang, if you will, of people that are just all on their own journey, all going towards the same goal of being a better version of themselves so they can be a better version of themselves for others. So that's why I have two of them. That's why I have a personal one and a business one. I want to show you guys like what I put in this so that you can see, maybe you might be not tracking these things yet. You might not be thinking about these things. You might just be like, how do I search niches on Etsy? But it really is like so much more granular than that. And then the niches come easy because you're doing these other things. So I'm just going to show you guys real fast. It's exactly what I'm doing in my own business. So the first thing was just kind of like a dream business. So like if I were to write what Leslie does and what her business looks like and who she's serving and what she's doing every day, like, who is that? What's my dream business? I wanted to write that to myself. So I personally did that and I wrote it all down. And then it basically was something that I could go back to at any time and confirm or deny if I'm on the right track. Another thing I did was top 2025 goals. There was 5 of them that I kind of wanted to have them under different categories, if you will. So like revenue. Am I empowering my clients? Am I diversifying my services? Am I posting my own content? Because I tell you guys to do it all the time, and I suck at consistency with that. So am I doing that? And am I also having work-life balance and creating systems to provide work-life balance? So what are my 5 top goals and why? Also, like, why would this be beneficial to me? Then I have like a 2025 business affirmation. So something that you guys can come up with and read to yourself every day. And then again, read it in a way where you are confirming or denying if you're on the right track, literally all year long. Okay. So mine was, I run a thriving, intentional business that aligns with my values. As you can see, I highlighted certain things that were really important and supports my dream lifestyle. I create financial abundance, empower others, and prioritize balance and joy in all that I do. My business works for me, giving me freedom, fulfillment, and the space to grow. So what is yours? And how can you actually make that happen every day and confirm that you're on the right path? The next thing that I did is, okay, now that I know my goals, now that I know my 5 overarching goals, how in the world am I going to get there? What things do I have to do every single day, every single month to ensure that it happens? And I built this where I basically do this every single month for myself. So post at least one Instagram story, upload at least one video, publish 4 YouTube videos, outreach to 10 potential clients, blah, blah, blah. What are going to get me where I need to be? In order, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, all these 5 goals that I set for myself, am I happy with those goals still? So how am I feeling? Does everything still make sense? Or do I need to pivot? That's kind of what this guy is going to do for me. Then this was just a fun one that I did. I wanted to show you guys. I decided, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have a minor in psychology. So you might know about like Pavlov's dogs, about how like positive reinforcement for your goals is really, really helpful to help you actually achieve them. So Pavlov's dogs, if you don't know, is basically this guy who would do, I think it's like a clicker, or like a bell or something, a noise would happen whenever he was giving this group of dogs treats. And then the dogs started to get to the point where they were salivating like crazy when they heard that bell or clicker or whatever, even if there was no treat there, because they were so conditioned to know that they were going to get this if this happened. Okay. So my Pavlovian experience is I'm going to do a bingo card for myself. I'm going to reward myself along the way. I'm not going to wait until December to be like, I did good or I didn't do good, and then wonder why I didn't do good. It's because I was not looking at myself for the entire year. And it's because I didn't have any milestones, mini milestones that I was trying to hit the big milestone. And I wasn't rewarding myself. I wasn't celebrating myself. Like you guys are doing something really freaking hard. You're trying to be an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur trying to stay afloat. I get it. I'm there with you guys every single day. We are the only reason why our business goes forward. We are the only reason why our business sucks. I don't want to be like harsh today, but I had to come to that reality about a year and a half ago that like, if things are not happening in my business, it's not the algorithm. It's not Etsy. Etsy could give literally 2 craps about me. I have to give 5,000 craps about myself and 5,000 craps about my audience and my ideal buyer. And then I got to do the work to make it happen. So something that I decided to do to reward myself while I was on that extremely hard journey was a little kind of like tracker bingo card, if you will. So of the things that I was doing that I know I need to do in order to hit my overarching goals, right? I decided to kind of like put them in here and then reward myself based on what I completed. So you'll see down here for every space that I get to tack off, I can spend 1 hour that day doing something fun for myself. For example, 2 days ago, I took a nap. Like I got to cross off a tile and I was like, all right, I'm going to bed now. And it was so like freeing and shame-free, which is really hard for me in my ADHD brain. I really put a lot of shame on rest, which is so sad. Like rest is, you're a human. You deserve it. You need it. And I have to convince myself every day. So if you can cross these things off and reward yourself, even if it's something small, this might be something that can completely change the way that you run your business. The last thing that I do is just kind of like a daily and a weekly and a monthly reflection as well. So it's kind of just like, was there anything notable, intentions for tomorrow, whatever. These are just some kind of things that I personally do in my own business. So I want to also really quickly go ahead and give you guys this other thing. So another thing that I'm doing to help stay on these goals is I personally have a quarterly goals checklist, which I've already showed you guys on previous, lives if you've been here with me before. But I have a quarterly goals checklist that basically is like, all right, so in order to hit those things, what do we got to do? And I like to personally put dates on them. So for example, like in my UGC business, like I need to create a portfolio with new examples and new pricing because it's the beginning of the year. As you can see, I have not done that. That is being done today. I'm about 6 days past due, but you can see that I did other things. So check. All good things, right? So I have these big goals. It's like, I'm not going to lie, $250,000 for the year. It's a hefty, lofty goal, but I know, like, I'm not concerned about it at all. I am I know I'm going to hit it. I know I'm going to exceed it. It literally does not faze me to say that number out loud, which is wild. Because if you would have caught me watching me, if I were on the other end of this live just 3 years ago, I would be laughing at myself. I would be just like, girl, you're delusional. It's literally never going to happen for you. And now I'm like, no, it's 100%. I'm not even concerned it's going to happen. But it's because I'm making it happen. So I'm taking that big overarching goal and I'm like, all right, if I want to, like, one of my goals, for example, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I launched my own YouTube channel. So my own personal one, which, you know, it's like 300 people, but we're all having a great time. But if I want to monetize my YouTube channel by June of this year, I can say that all I want, and it doesn't mean anything if I don't do the work to make it happen. So what am I doing? I'm posting at least 4 YouTube videos every single month on my personal channel. I am going live at least once a month, and I'm posting 30 shorts. And I'm also posting community posts. So kind of like Twitter post or X, whatever they're calling it now, on YouTube. So I'm trying to build a community there, because if I do that, theoretically, in turn, the algorithm will give me what I want. Okay. So thinking about like that big goal, whatever it is that you have, and then how in the world are we going to get there? I like to pop it out in this. And it does take a while. You know, you have to know how you're going to get to goals. Obviously, you got to break them down a little bit granularly here. But if I pop them all in here, the second thing that I do is I make this every quarter, right? And then, of course, when March comes around, I make it again for Q2. And then I'm like, do I like any of the stuff that I did in Q1? Like I have those come to Jesus meetings with myself for the next quarter and then reevaluate, pivot, whatever I need to do. But the goal would be what I set in December stands for the rest of the year. Okay. So that's why I do this here. Then the second thing that I do is I'm old school, guys. I use Trello. I am not cool. I don't use Notion. I don't use all the other cool things that you see out on TikTok and stuff now. I'm old school. I use Trello. I've used Trello probably since 2016. I'm probably going to keep using it until they kick me out. This is just something that I personally do where basically right here, this is a legit like screenshot of my week this week, by the way. So right here, you'll see week of 1/6 through 1/10. I should be able every single week, because I did what I was supposed to do. I should be able to come in here and copy and paste anything that was 1/6 through 1/10. And I should be able to pop it here. And then what I do once I have the list, which as you can see, we don't have the list because the lift's been moved. But once I have the list, then I start dragging and dropping to different days. So for example, today is 1/9, and I had a little thing here that said prepare for coffee with EverBee, because that was something I had to do for today. As you can see, it is gone because we are now here. But there are things that are going to be in this list that I like to drag based on the day that I think is going to be most beneficial to do that particular task. And what this strategy allows me to do personally in my own business is I am handling things as they come up. So clients are reaching out to me. Maybe EverBee reaches out and they're like, hey, we need this week. And I'm like, cool, got it. To-do list, pop it on there. But I am also never sacrificing the original goals that I set in place for myself, because I have them all listed out and then I divvied them up throughout the days of the week. And if I need to push it off to next week because other things took priority, that's fine. But at least I am doing what has to get done as things come up. But I am also staying true to the original goals that I set for myself last year. Okay. The last thing I want to show you guys is the actual resource that I do have for you guys. And this is for my Etsy sellers, but also it could be for Shopify, e-commerce, whomever. This is something that I built. It's called a DWM. That just takes me back to my corporate days. DWM stands for daily, weekly, monthly. And that is basically things that you should be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual basis in order, again, to hit those goals on in this case, Etsy. I obviously have different goals for different places, but this is one thing that I do have for you guys, and you can actually find this resource. I built this for you guys. You can see Q1, 2, 3, and 4 different holidays that are taking place that you might want to design in. And then you're also going to see the Etsy shop DWM that I built. So if you want that, when you're done watching this live, head over to our YouTube channel. Look for this guy right here. Want a thriving Etsy shop in 2025, whatever. You'll see the how to blow up. You'll see the thumbnail. Go find that. And in that description is this link. And then all you got to do is just make a copy of it and pop it in your own Google Drive. That is going to give you basically the roadmap of what you need at least daily, weekly, monthly, habit tracking, bingo card, whatever you decide to do in the Etsy space. Whatever you decide to do after that is completely up to you. And whatever other ventures you get in, whatever diversifying of your income you decide to get into, completely up to you. But this is going to be a free resource that can help you guys on Etsy. All right. Okay. So it is now almost 11 a.m. So I want to make sure that I can go through if there's any questions or comments about all the, I know I went really, really fast, but I wanted to make sure I got through all of that for you. If you have to hop off because it's 11, that's totally fine. I'm going to go through real quick and see what other people have said. Someone said, can I share my Etsy shop name? Nope, can't do that. Sorry about that. On the customizable boxes, where on social are you talking about selling? TikTok or others? Good question. You can do it on TikTok, but obviously I know a couple of us are a little like worrisome about potentially not having access to that anymore. So I would recommend Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, definitely Facebook. And then of course, if you have the ability to do like trade show kind of things, like actually physically there. All right. So someone asked, does ChatGPT go into Etsy to search that? Whenever we did that dog breeds thing the other day, it was a couple minutes ago. The answer is no, they do not go into ChatGPT, or they do not go into Etsy. They go into like the rest of the internet universe and then just find things that are like proving to be big, loyal communities in the dog space. Hope that makes sense. Oh, Carrie just said, go answer my question that was skipped over. I'm so sorry, Carrie Ann. I didn't mean to skip over it. I just want to make sure that everyone can go, and I will too. I'll go into the group and answer that for you because I want to make sure that everybody else is able to give you their feedback based on what they've actually done as a print-on-demand / handmade seller as well. Okay, Paulina, thank you so much, Paulina. The answer to linking shops is no, do not link them. Paulina said with 100% certainty what we were saying earlier, the answer is no. So there you go. I'm glad that we got that. Thank you so much, Paulina. Let's see. Oh, you guys are so sweet. So what's the name of your YouTube channel? You can just look up Leslie Cole if you want, or it's Evolution Designs, but it's spelled weird. It's EVOLUSHEN. Thanks for the support. Someone said, would this be recorded? Yes, absolutely. This is always, you can find these literally every single Thursday on our channel. Every one that I've ever done since last February, you can watch every one of these live streams on our channel. First time joining, you're a good leader with great information. I'm glad I found you. I don't do well with compliments. Thank you so much. That makes literally, this is my my pride and joy, is being able to be here with you guys. So thank you so much for that. Where can we download the drive form that you showed? Like I mentioned, all you got to do is go to, one moment, please. All right, right here. So on our YouTube channel, you are going to see this video right here in the corner. Look for this thumbnail. Look for that. I think it was maybe posted like 5 weeks ago. And in the description of that video is where you are going to find that DWM. You're so welcome, Carrie Ann. Hi, Leslie. How long should you be listing for a niche if you don't see any sales? I usually like to have, or myself or helping others out, I usually like to have these live no shorter than 30 days. Like that is the absolute minimum. But when I'm doing that, I also like to, number one, confirm that the SEO is perfect and where it needs to be. Number two, I'm potentially A/B testing. So I'm actually having two of the same listing up with maybe the thumbnail changed or maybe the SEO changed. So I can see if that niche could perform by testing two things rather than just one. And then number three, I also potentially want to put ad spend behind it just so I can get data faster. Are there any EverBee subscription offers in the offing? I'm not sure what that means, Audrey. I apologize. But if you're asking if there's any discounts that EverBee is offering right now, we don't have any currently, but by all means, please feel free to follow us in that Facebook group. It is private, and we let you guys know about it first and foremost before anybody else does. So go join that, and then you will be notified if and when we do that next time. We just got done doing a Christmas special. So for right now, the price is the price, but congratulations to everybody who did get the Black Friday and the Christmas special because you guys are locked in for 365 more days with us. So with that said, guys, it is a little bit past time. I appreciate all of you, literally every single stinking one of you for coming here today. I know it's the beginning of the year. You know, we're kind of getting back into the flow of things. So it truly does mean the world to me that you guys decided to take time out of your day to come hang out with me. I literally couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity to get to grow this community and truly make it a community. Someone said a second ago, what was it? BBEG, biggest, baddest EverBee gang. I love it. I'm going to make t-shirts. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be this really cool club. I hope you guys love it, being a part of it. Thank you again for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and hop off so you guys can get some time back into your day as well. And as always, I will see you next Thursday. See you guys.